on the subject of samurai, I thought of a Bleach arc.
Okay.
So the scene is people, for some unknown reason, are starting to get Fullbringer powers. Everyday teenagers are getting Fullbringer powers. They're popping up here and there all over. Is it Karaku Town or something along those lines? I can't remember the name of the town now. Fullbringers are popping up. But the flip side of that is Vizards are popping up all over the town as well. People discovering these abilities and stuff like that. Which leads to a Visor and Fullbringer war.
Ooh.
So the premise is, again, random teenagers are getting these powers. They kind of become groups and kind of, find kinship within kind of, recognizing each other's powers and things of that nature. Kind of like, to an extent, like an X-Men sort of thing, hey, you've got a weird power. Or maybe even Tokyo Ghoul to an extent, It's all about people with similar sort of powers and stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
This leads to like a gang-like mentality. In my notes I've put it kind of leads to a gang-like mentality. This kind of brings Bleach back to like the street level that it started off being, and there are flickers of it here and there, especially like the opening of the Fullbringer arc. I kind of really like that vibe where it's like in clubs and stuff like that. I also put maybe the return of Jagger Jack, or Hollow that dreams of being a human again.
The reason that I really like this story is because I think that it would be well placed in a world after the conclusion of the Bleach manga, when there's been a lot of events. I mean, is it too late? Is it late enough to start talking about spoilers of Bleach? I have to assume that people who are watching or reading Bleach know how Bleach ends.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess the only thing is there's the Burn the Witch sort of manga.
That's separate, though. That's not Bleach. That's a completely separate story. But yeah, like I think like a lot of stuff happens in the end of Bleach, which would, I'd say, lead to a situation where the Shinigami presence and the Hollow presence might not be quite the same as it was in Ichigo's time.
Yeah.
And before then. So, like you said, I'd love for it to see it like back at street level, and to kind of like not at like this massive giant battle degree, like kind of at a very minimum scale, whereas it can go under the radar
Yeah.
enough that like the Shinigami are not going to get involved.
Yeah.
So I really like that.
And I guess it's kind of whose side do you fall on as well, because the way I picture it or imagine it is that, again, it's this whole sort of gang mentality. So it's kind of like they take one of ours out, we take one of theirs. It can sound really horrible and brutal, but I'm trying to think of a certain anime. K Project is kind of like a gang thing, as well as there's another one I thought of, Dura.
Yeah.
Again, there's kind of gang sort of stuff in that. Either way,
this would work out really good for like kind of like relationships as well. Like in terms of this, like you'd have like your protagonist on one side, you got your protagonist on the other side, and they keep coming to blows. And eventually, it ends up that they're the ones who kind of like realize that actually, should they be fighting each other, or should they be fighting this other thing which is happening that no one is noticing because they're too busy fighting each other?
Yeah, exactly. And I thought it'd be a nice sort of like poetic sort of thing to have a Hollow or a Arankar or something. I don't know about Arankar because they kind of have a human form anyway, but a Hollow that dreams to be human and is maybe the one behind creating all these like Fullbringers and Vizards.
Maybe. Very good, very good. I like that. That actually makes me also It's basically a mirror image of my Shippuden arc. Because there's another time skip between the last couple of chapters of Bleach where it
Yeah.
goes like years in the future and everyone's kind of moved on and doing all this different stuff. I want to see what happened in between them. You know, I want to just have some of those nice slice of life questions answered for me.
Yeah, I completely get where you're coming from. And again, it's kind of like get the Shimigamis off the table. Let's kind of look at new characters and not think like, oh, Shimigami's going to jump in and save the day at any moment. Maybe one or two do pop in, but maybe they just get taken out like for stupid reasons. So yeah,
Maybe there's something that's preventing the Shinigami from getting to the town. But no one's aware of it because any hollow that do show up are getting taken out by these two opposing groups.
Yeah, exactly that.
But they don't realize that the whole town is in some sort of bubble. Maybe it's one of those situations where the powers you can only use the power while you're inside of the bubble of the town. And if you were to leave the town, you don't have those powers anymore.
Yeah.
A lot to think about.
A lot to think about. There you go.